Hi guys, how's it going? So I have totally given up on growing lettuce in Colorado. It's been really years since I've really tried, because what happens here in May is it'll be Tuesday, it's snowing 30 degrees, and Wednesday it's 80. And that's not an exaggeration. We don't really have like a true spring here, at least not one that's consistent. And so what happens with lettuce here is you plant your seeds, they come up because it starts to get a little warmer, the soil warms up, and that's great. And then 2 days later, it decides now it's just gonna be 80 degrees. And so then you have lettuce that's bolting, and it's just not a good scene. This year, as most of you know, I started soil blocking, and one of the plants that I found works really, really well for soil blocking is lettuce, and it just grows beautifully. So from now on, I'm growing in the house, and I can grow it year round. The temperature is perfect in my house. It's consistently about 67 to 70 degrees. Generally speaking, there aren't bugs. There's definitely not rabbits or deer or anything else that could get to my lettuce. So I'm just growing it inside from now on. I started this tray exactly 3 weeks and 1 day ago. So April 25th, today's May 17th. And this is what I have so far. 3 weeks of growth, and this is like amazing. So now that I know exactly how I want to approach this, because I've done some other trays, smaller trays, but this I've been growing in my greenhouse. So I started these on 4/11, April 11th. So what is that, a full 2 weeks before I started these. So there's that. I mean, this is the way to go for me. This is inside, this is 3 weeks of growth, and I'm just going to start a tray like this about every 2 weeks. I am going to soil block. Now, if you want to grow lettuce inside, you don't have to soil block, okay? It's just that if you're gonna grow lettuce inside and you're gonna do it perpetually, so that you have year-round lettuce for yourself and your family, you probably aren't gonna wanna deal with a bunch of little pots constantly, because then you're gonna have to wash those out. And honestly, I've tried to grow lettuce in little pots in my house for a decade, and it doesn't really work out that well. This isn't a video on soil blocking, but I will tell you this, we're here. The reason this works out so well is because there's no plastic. There's no plastic involved to sort of keep that plant too wet, for example. There's no damping off. You can cause damping off with any method, right? But you just have a better chance with a soil block than you do a plastic pot for lettuce and some other things, but we're just talking about lettuce today. All right, so let me switch this stuff around and I'll show you how I approach this. Okay, so this is a 1.5 inch soil blocker. I've already made my soil mixture. Ask 10 people, you'll get 10 recipes. I use sterile seed starting mix for my blocks. Soil blocking, the mixture itself is going to be a lot wetter than if you're just growing in pots, okay? So for this, I used about 4 of these filled with this sterile seed starting mix, and 2 and about 1/2 of warm water in here. And I also put trifecta in here. That's my fertilizer of choice. So that's how I got to this consistency. So you take your bin of soil, the rest of these are going to go real fast because we have technology and I can do that for you. Okay. Perfect. And we're done. That was about 5 minutes. And that included me getting a wasp out of here. And now, as a bonus, let's see if I can make the trash can. Nope. As a bonus, I'm going to show you how I seed my soil blocks. Believe it or not, it's better. My way's better. That's all there is to it. Camera overheated. As I was saying, I don't even know where I left off. But I'm gonna seed these blocks with the toothpick method. I have a toothpick here, I have a little bowl, and I don't know, this was new to me this year. I saw somebody do it and I was like, how does that work? It just does. Chef's Choice, Little Gem, Tango Leaf, Pablo Crisp Head, Butter Crunch, and Ruby Red Lettuce. That's what you just saw on that tray down there. So we're gonna start with the Chef's Choice. And this is, it's a blend of a bunch of different things, including arugula. So each seed looks different. And I try to actually alternate, but that's just me. So for the toothpick method, you can just broadcast your seeds, right? You can do that if you want. But this way you get one seed in each spot. And I get pretty much, you saw, I pretty much get 100% germination. Even on this tray, it's almost 100% germination, but I'll tell you what it is for sure. It's plenty of lettuce. So you just wet the tip of the toothpick, touch one of your seeds. I know you can't see that. You're just gonna have to imagine because we're not doing this up close today. And just go right down the row. I'm alternating seed color for this one because it's a blend. Just setting it right on top of each one. I think that was 2. But we're not gonna care because it's all good. So I'm gonna do this one here as you're watching, and then I'm gonna see the rest of these. Uh-oh, wrong one. Off camera because, okay, whatever. That took, how long? A minute to do a whole row. Somebody do a stopwatch. Super simple. So I'm gonna finish these up and then I'll come back and show you the next step. Last little bit here, 5 more. Like I said, the great thing about this is you're gonna have one plant come up out of that spot and then you don't have to thin. Okay, so we're done with the seeding. And now all I'm going to do, this is similar to if you were growing in pots, this part. First of all, I'm going to put these out of the way. And I'm going to take a little more dry soil and just barely sprinkle the tops. Okay, that's done. Move my phone. And now I have this set on mist, so I'm just going to mist the tops. You really want to make sure you're not doing more than misting or you're going to blow your seeds right out of your soil blocks. That's it. That's it for soil blocking. I'm going to do this every 2 weeks now, and so I'll have a perpetual supply of lettuce. As far as lighting goes, I would recommend an actual grow light for lettuce. I think you're probably going to find leggy lettuce seedlings if you just put them in like a south-facing window. So, that's a consideration too. And of course, if you live someplace with an actual spring, just grow it outside. I don't have that luxury. So this is what we're doing. And we're gonna have some salad tonight with this other one here. Again, 3 weeks and 1 day. And that's what I have. I think that's pretty amazing. So, all right, let's get this cleaned up because I have one more thing to tell you about. So now I'm going to show you what I've been working on, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what is this cool cart Karen has? Well, Backyard Discovery, who is the maker of this greenhouse, I did a review video on this greenhouse. You may have seen it a few weeks ago. And they saw it. Of course, I sent it to them. That's how come they saw it. But they saw it and they really appreciated it. And they sent me this gift, not this. So we get this out of the way. And this, I know I'm gonna have to back you up, and I will, but this is actually a cooler. It's a very soft close. But this is I'll put a link for it down below or up here somewhere. It's the Backyard Discovery 100-quart Acacia cooler, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, if you saw my Mother's Day short, this is what I was talking about. We received it, but you have to assemble it. And for Mother's Day, I opened the door and this was sitting like this with this huge thing of flowers on it. So he built it as a surprise for me. We still need to seal it, and so we'll do that. But this thing is amazing. I get to use it as my little demo table, and then if we have a party or something, we can use it as a cooler, and I would probably just leave it in here. But I definitely, as you saw, kept it protected. I wouldn't use this as a potting bench, for example. It's not. It's meant to stay nice. So I did have that waterproof cover on it while I was doing my planting. But anyway, that's it, you guys. Again, if you're having trouble with growing lettuce in your area because of the short, weird spring like we have here in Colorado, try growing it indoors. And I'm biased to the soil blocking. Again, I've grown in the little pots many, many times, and I've never had anything like this, never. So give it a try. If you have any questions, post a comment below, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.